22nd of May and it's snowing.
You're John. I'm Dave.
Muhammad Ali.
He's got a heart made of yellow barley straw.
I'm John.
I'm Dave.
And we're the hardware guys. Actually, Dave, I've moved on. I sell real estate now.
So we're the house and hardware guys?
Right on.
Home is a combination of family, friends, memorabilia, your furniture, and you can move that from one building to the next and call it home and be at home.
Your home is where your heart is. A house is just a building. So wherever you choose to live, as long as your heart's in it, that's your home.
Bye!
It's a dugout house that we restored the last few years. We just tried to make it look like that time period. It's a reconstruction of what we figure was here. They lived here for a while because of all the buildings that are here. There's a house, a barn, food storage, and a waste site. If it had been a buffalo hunter or a horse rancher that just came for the season, he would have just had a small building to live in at that time. We figure it was mid to late 1800s. A gentleman in town can remember coming over this wagon trail with his dad when he was a young lad, and at that time this building was derelict. And he's in his 90s now. This is the type of bedding that they had at that time period as well. They used ropes or cow leather to make warm. Then they would cover it either with a horse blanket or a buffalo robe, something along that line. But you can see what they've done is dug into the hill. This wall would have been clay, the one on my right is clay, and then they hauled that dirt out to form the wall on the south, and the rest of the dirt went on the ceiling, or on the roof. So pretty much everything except a third of it, all those two walls is underground. So they would capture the natural heat from the soil and get out of the wind. Actually, even when I was working inside here, it was very cold outside, say minus 20 Fahrenheit, and you still had not froze inside the building just because of the heat that had been stored in the soil. The roof was not leak proof because all it is poles, some lumber, and then it was covered with sod, little grass and sod. But what they would say, if it rained outside today, tomorrow it rained inside, because it took that long to leach through and be inside your house. Same as the door is quite interesting. In all the researching that I was able to find on it, every article started out by saying, make sure your door opens inward. Being a small building, you'd think, well, that's going to take a lot of space away from your house. It'd be much easier, or much more space moving out. But the fact is, in the wintertime, after a winter blizzard, if it opened outwards, you could end up being a hostage in your own home. That little stove there, it's a Bonanza camp stove. It would have probably come in around that time period because it's got a galvanized body on it, plus a cast iron top, and it's very light, so it would have been quite easy for them to transport in here on a wagon train. Plus, in the summertime, they never cooked in their house. It would get far too hot, so they would take the stove out. So it had to be something that was reasonably light that they could move in and out at this time period. This quilt as well is what they call a cathedral stitch. And again, they would use their flour sacks or sugar sacks. Any of the material they got in, or the supplies, came in cloth bags at that time. So they would take them apart and then make their blankets and towels and stuff like that. It actually was very exciting because, well, I would have liked to have been living in that time period for one thing, but the other thing is to put yourself back in time and figure out how they would have handled it. Right now it's easy to run to the lumber yard, but they didn't have those options, you know, and to sit and think, okay, now how could they do that? It was fun.
says the glass is half full, pessimist says the glass is half empty,
Yeah.
and an engineer says the glass is twice as big as it needs to be.
There we are.
Now I do feel safe.
If it ain't
That's
broke,
really-
if it ain't broke, it don't have enough features.
Don't have enough. Some engineer must have dreamed that one.
That's an engineer motto too.
That's gotta be. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's, I don't know whose that one is.
Yeah,
That's just,
but that's a good one.
yeah, if it isn't broke,
Good.
don't fix it.
Well, if it ain't broke, you can't fix it. All you can do is mess with it.
Yeah.
But good chances you will break it.
Yeah.
That ain't broke, don't fix it, it's old.
Yeah. Oh, I'm old.
But they would have housed their cow in here in the winter time. Kept a calf in the pen beside, maybe a pig or two as well. And then up in the corner there, there's a spot where they'd wintered over a few chickens so that they could have started their flock again in the spring of the year. That cow may have pulled their wagon as well. It's hard to say. You know, if the cow was here and they had the cow, which would give them the calf for the winter meat and give them their milk and butter. So if need be, it would be the cow that would be their means of transportation. And that is a horse blanket. And that is what they would end up using on their bed if the horse wasn't using it. This they would use, they hobbled their horses so that they wouldn't run away in the summertime. Wintertime they released their horses if they had horses. They never went to the work of putting up feed for them. The horse is quite capable of looking after itself. So they would release it. The horses as well would stay in the valleys because of the shelter and feed. And then the neighbors would all get together and they'd go out in the spring of the year and round up their horses and sort them out and take them home again. And they'd only use the barn in the winter time. The cow would have been tethered out somewhere in the yard. Chickens would have been free-range chickens at that time. And but this would have been for protecting them through the winter.
Hi, I'm Ann Davis, and you're in my kitchen. I usually left the oven for Friday because quite often I had the baking done for the week that time. And it was often easier to do the baking when the kids were at school than when they were trying to help.
Did they eat a lot of your bacon?
Oh yes, I'm sure I made cookies or a cake every day for supper and saved enough out for the lunch boxes the next morning. Okay, bye for this time. We'll see you again. That's it for today.
This is for us. One old goat and one cute chick.
He bought the book when it was almost making him feel good.
I play at least 3 games of this a day.
That's why there's
Do you have 2? Yeah.
I'm gonna take this.
What is it?
It's just air.
It's not even hot air.
Why do you need air?
Clean his computer.
Clean the computer out. My house is fairly dusty. My wife doesn't do a good job of
Oh,
dusting
don't
it.
let's start this on my wife again.
So this would have been the original house, I'm sure, that they lived in for a couple of winters, probably before they built their other one. There was lath and plaster in this place, so they had it plastered at one time. So it would just be a one-room little shack that they lived in originally. As far as the homestead, it'd be about 80 years old, I would imagine. You know, poplar logs standing on end, just one side by side. That way they can do without any kind of studs, hey, in the wall. So this hay is probably 80 years old too. How it was constructed, it was just logs about 12 inches long. And then there was mud put in, but every once in a while they do have an upright going up to the roof. But when they constructed it, they put shingles on the outside of it, and that keeps the mud dry. So it's lasted for 80 years.
It's nice and sunny for once. It feels good now. Yeah. Maybe we'll get some decent weather.
Do you think we'll get any more snow?
No, I think we're done for snow. Moisture's the other thing.
Yeah.
I think we had enough for a little while. We need some warmth and sunshine. Yeah. That's what everybody's hoping for now. Lately, my predictions haven't been very good. They've been all wrong.
We'll forgive
What
you.
can I do?
I wanted to know if you have any wilderness tips.
Don't go out in the wilderness.
Not my sentiment. Did you ever go camping? You've been.
Yeah, with school and then once in a while. But
What do you think? What advice can you give people who have to go camping with school or whatever?
oh, it's fun. You should go with school.
Yeah?
Yeah, because that's fun. But when you go later, I mean, you still have to do dishes and you still have to cook and you still have to do all that stuff. Only it's harder because you're out in the bush. So why not let the Ramada cook and clean for you?